In this question, you will be asked to give your opinion about a familiar topic. After you hear the question, you will have 15 seconds to prepare your response and 45 seconds to speak. Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Teenagers cause many problems for their parents. Use specific examples and details to support your opinion.
Please prepare your answer after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
In this question, you will read a short passage about a campus situation and then listen to a talk on the same topic. You will then answer a question using information from both the reading passage and the talk. After the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. A student has written a letter to the campus newspaper. You will have 50 seconds to read the letter. Begin reading now. Now listen to two students discussing the letter.
Did you read this letter?
Yes.
He makes some good points.
You think so? I don't agree with him.
Why not?
Well, to begin with, he's not thinking about how students actually use the books.
What do you mean?
Well, if you're using it to write a paper, even if it's possible to read the book quickly, you still need to hold on to it for reference. Like, say you're working on a research paper. Over the course of a month, you may need to go back and refer to things in the book to figure out what you're going to use in the paper.
I guess that's true. It can take time if you're using it for research.
Yeah, there's a whole process involved. And I don't like his other reason either.
But sometimes students really need a book for an assignment, and they can't wait.
That's true. But if students can't wait for a book, there's another way they can get it. They can order it from another library in the state university library system. It's called an interlibrary loan.
How do you do that?
Well, for an interlibrary loan, students can just go to the librarian at our library and fill out a form. They put down the title and author of the book they want, and then our librarian finds it at another school's library. Then that library sends it to ours. It only takes a few days.
The woman expresses her opinion about the letter writer's proposal. Briefly summarize the proposal, then state the woman's opinion, and explain the reasons she gives for holding that opinion.
Please prepare your answer after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
In this question, you will read a short passage on an academic subject and then listen to a talk on the same topic. You will then answer a question using information from both the reading passage and the talk. After the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. A student has written a letter to the campus newspaper. You will have 50 seconds to read the letter. Begin reading now. Now listen to part of a lecture from a biology class.
Okay, let me tell you about a great example of this. There's a bird, a type of heron that lives near rivers and marshes in Africa. Now, this heron is a wading bird. It spends most of its time walking around in shallow water. And during the day, it eats the fish that swim in the rivers and marshes. The trouble is, though, it can be pretty hard to see the fish with the sun shining on the water, because the sunlight creates a lot of glare and reflections, making it tough to see fish swimming below the surface. But over time, this species of heron has found a cool solution involving the use of its wings. Like most birds, the heron uses its wings for flying. But what happened is, at some point in the past, the heron also started using its wings to block the sun, to create shade when it's looking for fish. It does this by putting its wings above its head and holding them there, while it looks down into the water. With its back to the sun and its wings above its head, the wings form a kind of canopy or umbrella that blocks the sun and eliminates the glare on the water. So the heron's able to see the fish much better.
Explain how the example of the heron illustrates acceptation.
Please prepare your answer after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
In this question, you will listen to a short lecture. You will then be asked to summarize important information from the lecture. After you hear the question, you will have 20 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. Listen to part of a lecture in a business class.
As you know, these days, people are becoming more and more conscious of how important it is to protect our natural environment, of how important it is to protect the atmosphere, the oceans, the soil, and so on. And so more and more companies have now implemented environmentally friendly business practices. That is, they're running their businesses in ways that help protect the environment. For example, by conserving energy and preserving natural resources. And for business owners, there's some good news here, and that is that environmentally friendly business practices not only benefit the environment, but they can also benefit the businesses themselves, and they can do that in a couple of different ways. First, environmentally friendly practices can help businesses save money by reducing their operating costs, by reducing the cost of running their business. For example, there's a coffee shop here in town, and a couple of years ago, they decided they wanted to do something to help protect the environment. So they made a commitment to reduce their energy use. And so one thing they did was they changed the kind of light bulbs they were using. They replaced their regular light bulbs with special light bulbs that use less energy and last longer. So that was good for the environment, and it was good for the coffee shop, because it significantly reduced the amount of money they were spending on electricity each month. Environmentally friendly practices can also help businesses by making them more attractive to certain consumers. Because if a business helps protect the environment, consumers who are concerned about the environment are more likely to feel positive about that business and are more likely to spend money there. For example, the coffee shop I was talking about. Another thing they changed was they changed the kind of napkins and paper cups they were using. They began to use only napkins and cups made from recycled paper. Because the new napkins and cups were manufactured from old recycled paper, no one had to cut down any new trees to produce them. And so the coffee shop was helping to protect the environment. And the coffee shop then wisely started mentioning that in their advertising. And they started drawing more customers who were concerned about protecting the environment.
Using points and examples from the lecture, describe 2 ways that environmentally friendly business practices can benefit businesses.
Please prepare your answer after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.